Well, here we are. Welcome to a wet and wonderful Beers in the Shed. It's the night before Christmas. I've cracked a beer already. Graham, are you on the line, mate?
Mate, you bet you I am. Did I just hear you say you've cracked a beer?
Oh, I've already cracked it, mate. I couldn't wait, unfortunately, today. Usually I wait to say good day before I crack it, but today, mate, it's one of those things. Christmas time usually brings the best out of me, mate. I drink way too much, eat too much, and usually make a fool of myself. And I reckon this year is going to be no different, mate.
I'll tickle those boxes with you, mate. Yep, mate, the plans right now, you're looking at it, me drinking beer and spending a bit of time in the shed, to be honest with you.
That's about as good as it gets, in my opinion. And what better way than to, just before Christmas, get everyone together for Beers in the Shed. And we've got another cracking episode. We've been giving away a lot of prizes this year, and it's in the spirit of Christmas, mate. Last time you saw Beers in the Shed, we gave away 1,000 prizes, and let's just say that went off like a frog in a sock, mate. That was just insane.
Have a go at Tom here. He won a hat to go with his hoodies. Look at all the... Look at that. Christmas came early to him, all right. Dad wagon, the Pajero, extra stubby holder with his order, and it looks like he's already put 2 beers in there. I think he's just trying them out for size, mate. There's a special bloke here I'd like to introduce you to, mate. His name is Luke. He's only 13 years old, mate, and he's had to man up a bit. The family's gone through a bit of a rough trot just of late. His old man's just passed away. His dad's just passed away from cancer. It's tragic, and his mum's just beat breast cancer, and poor old Luke, I'll say it again, he's 13 years old. He's been helping out all around the house. He's been cleaning the pool, cooking meals, doing a whole heap of stuff for his mum just to help out a bit. And I don't know what he's been thinking lately. Maybe he's under a bit of stress, but he's been looking at your cooking scenes, mate, to try and get a few tips for helping around the house. He bought himself a T-shirt. He's absolutely stoked, mate. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. I just wanted to say, Luke, I reckon you're a bit of a bloody legend, mate, and, for a 13-year-old to be stepping up like he has, I couldn't even do that, mate, and I'm considerably older than 13, you might have noticed. Now, mate, I just say good on you.
I like the fact he got his sticker straight out of the snatch pack and just slapped it on the back of his mum's car, and it looks like a pretty nice car too. So, mate, Luke, full respect. In fact, hang on.
What are you doing?
Hang on, I've just run out of frame for a minute. I just thought of something crazy. I've got a spare snatch weekender bag. Now, I've grabbed a couple of these to chuck in the shed because these move so fast. Luke, this is for you, mate. So, look, we're going to get in touch with you and send this out to you. I want to chuck a few more goodies into this snatch weekender bag. And, mate, just well done for being such a legend, mate, and growing up so fast.
Good on you, Luke. Good on you, mate. Hey, speaking of winners, mate, that golden ticket, remember that one? That very special golden ticket? One lucky winner.
Out of that 1,000 prizes we gave away was going to win a trip with us. A golden ticket was jammed into a pack, and we did it by random down at Snatch HQ. Chris Chapman, mate, if you're watching, start doing your stretches now because you're coming on a trip with us. I suggest you eat chicken that's a little bit off, drink milk that's a little bit off, just get those guts really strong because I want to cook you up a meal, mate, and you just got to be prepared for it.
Chris, I'm looking forward to meeting you, mate. Good luck is all I can say. This will either break you or make you, one of the two. I'm not too sure which way it'll go.
Talk about making a year. This year, just as a complete year, has been very up and down, mate. A bit like you're driving, just you're driving hard ruts one moment, getting bogged the next moment, and everyone laughing. It's just been one of those years. And
it really has.
I suppose for a lot of us, mate, it meant lockdowns. It meant people without work. It's a lot more time around home, and just the uncertainty, mate, of not being able to get out and enjoy the things we love.
And I'd like to think that even though there's been a lot of challenges, mate, the Australian people as a general population, and of course four-wheel drivers amongst us, we've all rallied together and we've made the best of a bad situation. I know we're just about on the other side of it now. People are planning trips. I've got a mate that's just come back from a trip down the south end of WA. He reckons there's more people out and about now in four-wheel drives than he's ever seen. So I think
you couldn't be more truthful with that. I've seen a lot of people doing the same thing, and I mean,
everyone's
it's
making
not
most
just
of it now.
Exactly right, including us as well. I mean, we've had a rough year in terms of, like, we've had so many destinations we were supposed to go and camp this year. We've had to really improvise. And this is how actually Beers in the Shed started.
Well, this is how this started,
Because of COVID, we thought, heck, we're going to try and bring you the best content still, even if that means not being able to leave your home, we're still going to be able to do it, mate. And so it's been a rough year for us, but I reckon there has still been a lot of highlights, mate. And I reckon this year, as negative as perhaps it might have been, I think there's a lot of positive to come out of 2020, mate. And we actually put something up on our Instagram page for you guys to pick what were the best moments of four-wheel drive 24/7 for 2020. And
went nuts, didn't it? How many comments we got? So many
mate,
comments.
They came up with some absolute crackers. And actually, I just can't wait to get into some of these. So I want to go through a rundown of some of our best moments and, most importantly, your best moments from 2020.
And I think today's favourite, mate, what do you say, in the spirit of Christmas?
Give him a prize.
Yeah,
I reckon give him a Snatch clothing gift voucher.
Settle down.
$50. $50 gift voucher. Yeah, no, mate, you can't. You have to work for it, buddy. But like,
we'll give a few. Months, mate. If I could just get one more, just one more.
Look, we'll give a gift voucher out, $50, and that's a great little thing. And hot tip as well: if you've left your Christmas shopping to about now, the day before Christmas, I suggest you jump on to snatchclean.com.au, get yourself a gift voucher. It gets emailed straight to you. You can put that under the tree. Bang! Christmas shopping is done. You don't even need to go to the shops and hang out with the crowds.
That's actually a really good idea,
mate. That's what I'm doing for everyone, mate. Everyone in my family's getting a voucher this year.
I've done absolutely nothing. So straight after we finish beers in the shed, mate, if I've got enough reception left, straight on to Snatch Clothing. That's the way. All right, mate, let's kick this off with, well, just some bits we sort of picked out from all your comments, folks. We're going to go straight into Chris Chapman. Practically the whole season was good to watch. He's talking about everything we've done, basically, this whole COVID year. It was good to watch, and essentially, I like this. He said it was like hanging out with mates, even whilst in lockdown. So I reckon that's
cool.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
That's what it's all about, mate. That's what it's all about.
Jeff and Will, they've both agreed that when Jocko rolled the pony, was a pretty big highlight. Probably not for Jocko so much. Jocko, you know what? We just did a trip that no one's seen yet. It's not even on our radar, not even on the viewers' radar just yet. But Jocko jumped in with me for a bit. We'll get into that later. Not important right now. I gave him a drive, and he got so serious. Have you seen him drive?
Yeah, he does that. He does that, mate. That was the best thing. I was there when he rolled the pony Lux, and it couldn't have been any better, mate. Couldn't have been any better, because not only was he around me and the camera crew and all the rest of it, we captured every single moment, but he was with one of his best mates, Matt, who is a Hilux nerd, a really good driver, accomplished fabricator, all the rest of it. He really looks up to
everything
Matt.
Jocko's not.
And yeah, exactly right. Matt might have gave him a bit of a bum steer in what line to take. Jocko, being Jocko, tried to drive it, ended on his side. I laughed so much, mate. I nearly cried. I couldn't believe it. He was on his side, mate. So one of my highlights for sure for 2020. How about Ronald, mate?
Yeah, Ronald. Yep.
Look,
bit of a shock to my system too, because of course we were separated on either sides of Australia when you decided. I don't know what you were thinking. Well, I do know what you were thinking. It was time for you to get a little bit more manly, so you decided to go out and buy yourself a patrol. I understand, mate. And Ronald has said it couldn't get more memorable than Shauno driving, as I've just said, a very masculine Nissan with Daryl as a wonderful name. It's a death for him. He said that's a big thumbs up.
I've got to say, mate, some people this year caught COVID. Unfortunately, I caught Mission Patrol, and it couldn't be any more gross. I've still got that thing parked at my place here, mate, and all the neighbours keep complaining. It's just an eyesore. And they're saying the property prices are on the big decline at the moment because of old Daryl. But guess what? Daryl's not going anywhere.
Because it's Christmas, I'm going to come out with the truth here. Yeah, I'm going to come out with the truth here. When we're having beers together in the pub, you have secretly said to me on numerous occasions, you actually really quite like that vehicle.
I do. I won't lie to you, mate. It's just so capable. I mean, there's nothing in it. There's no weight. When you got a car that doesn't even have a fridge in the back, it doesn't have even back seats. You put a set of 35s, big old TB Carby 42. Just send it, mate. And holy heck, you're not afraid to send it. Like, what are you going to do? Scratch the horse paintwork? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, scratch one of his nostrils. That's about it. That's it. Mate, we've got low ranger learners here. When the Pony Lux pulled Daryl out of the glass house. Probably shouldn't. I don't know whether you want to go into that or not. Probably a bit of a sad moment for you.
That was the moment. I was just getting used to Daryl, and I had the reins pulled back pretty tight. It let me down. I sort of slipped off the saddle a tiny bit, and it broke down. We had to get the pony to pull me out. It was pretty embarrassing, mate. And,
happens, mate.
It does. To the best of
us.
us.
Hey, remember that night run we did? Mate? Yeah, Gareth, he remembers it. Daryl going toe-to-toe with Jesse's winch truck. I wouldn't say toe-to-toe. I reckon we were in front ever so slightly, given
that
if you look at the
one
build
of the best trips of the year, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yep. I was a bit nervous. I'd just come off probably 6 months away. I hadn't driven anything tough for a long time, and you said jump in this rusty bucket old GQ and let's go for a drive. I was like, holy, at night.
Jump in Daryl and let's go do A-grade tracks with a winch truck. Yeah, it was full on, mate. That was the highlight of this year. That was a fun trip. I don't think I laughed so much in my life. No. And because I drove first, Graham was driving second, I got to have beers and do a night run. It was just a good time all around, mate.
Yeah, it was very memorable. So Gareth, I'm with you on that one, mate. I reckon that's up there with one of my highlights of the year for sure.
Mate, well, look at Jamie, and one of his favourite highlights was watching the Dirty 30 build. Now, there's a lot of rain coming down right now, mate, and I don't know if you can see past the rain. Behind me is the finished product of the Dirty 30. And look, he loved the fact there was so much passion into that build, and he'd love to win something like that, but he loves the show, and it's his favourite thing of the year was the Dirty 30 build. Now, I've got to say, mate, that was it wasn't just a highlight of 2020 for me. It was probably a life highlight for me. This is a lot's gone into this vehicle, and that's why it's parked. Pride of place in the shed. I've even got some Christmas lights hanging off the bull bar. I've been driving this thing every single day, and I love it. I love it. So look, Jamie, I reckon you get a gift voucher, mate. That's if you can relate to what it takes to build a vehicle like this, you're worthy of a $50 Snatch gift voucher, mate. So well done, and Merry Chrissy.
Good on him, mate. Another thing that's come up a heck of a lot in the responses we've got back on social media. The reasons I can't really understand, because I think you'll agree with me when I say this, it's one of the more serious parts of our, if you call it a job, we take this extremely serious. We stretch, we limber up. No, mate, I'm talking about the cooking scenes. It's something that you and I really are very professional about.
Obviously, there's no joking goes on with those, mate.
Absolutely none at all. But for some reason, the folks out there find them hilarious. I mean, for me, it's a cooking show. It's extremely serious. But Latham Brunt, that's a strange name. But anyway, Latham Brunt. I'll get English right one day. He reckons that time that Kaito and Jocko couldn't cook the rice. How do you not cook rice? I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah, mate, the simplest thing ever.
Ran out of gas, and then they broke Shauno's chainsaw.
I'll tell you what, that was one of the ones, Graham, where you were stuck over in WA. You couldn't come out, mate. And to be honest, you're not the best sidekick at the best of times when it comes to cooking, but I tell you what, you leave those two boys for dead. Those guys couldn't boil water, mate. It was an absolute nightmare. Yeah. So I said, leave it alone, go get some firewood, and then they went and broke my chainsaw. Yeah. But the pair of those two would be like the Two Stooges. They'd be hopeless. Yep. Good help is sometimes hard to find, mate, especially when you've got a bit of a kitchen going on and you're cooking up an absolute storm like I tend to do.
Understand it. Mate, now, apparently, this last cooking segment we did, that's been something of a hit.
I don't know why you think it's so funny. I mean, have you never tried to get a bit of chicken breast and stuff it? Because at the end of the day, like, one of the tastiest meals you'll ever wrap your lips around, if you ask me. And look, Graham, I don't know what people are thinking, that's quite funny. There was so much feedback on that one in particular. People saying the funniest one of the year. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed at you guys because
agreed.
I was just trying to cook a bloody good meal, and I think some people maybe took it out of context. I don't know, but I don't know
what's going on there, mate. I don't know about you, but I don't whether it's just because we're professionals and I was trying my hardest to really get as much as I could into that chicken breast, but I actually had 2 sore fingers and a bit of a bad wrist for about a week after that. I think I was trying too hard, mate. You got to relax sometimes when you're cooking.
I've been there, mate, and look, I've got my mum, my grandmother, I've got aunties and uncles and stuff coming around tomorrow to my place for Christmas lunch.
You gonna have a crack at that?
I decided, mate, to get a bunch of chicken breast. I want to get everyone involved. They can stuff their own chicken breast.
Yes.
And, look, Christmas is going to be. It's going to be a hoot in my place. Let's get right along to the next.
Okay.
Mate, we've got Aiden, and his favourite is Graham's old solo episodes. And
good on you, Aiden.
He was just appreciative to show that WA has a lot more than just rainy, cloudy days in the southwest.
Here's the bloke that's you had 1,000 mil of rain the last couple of days. Mate, if I go outside right now, I'm going to have to basically put sunscreen all over myself because it's just a beautiful day out there at the moment. We've got Robert. Now, Rob reckons he loved Graham's fish and chips cooking segment. I used instant mashed potato to coat the fish, and he's made it twice since watching the segment. So, Rob, it was actually bloody good, Rob. You might have noticed I had a couple of beers that night, so it tasted very good to me too. But I reckon we give him another prize. Am I okay can I throw a prize his way, Rob?
Go on. It is Christmas after all, mate.
$50 voucher, mate. Spend it on whatever you like, Rob. Go nuts, mate. We've got so many comments. Let's keep going through them. You have a look at. There's someone with the name Sean. I'll let you take Sean's question,
mate. Exactly. What another legend, Sean. He loved beers in the shed, mate. As a Victorian, we've helped him keep his sanity. Really feel for all the Victorians. They've had a really tough year, mate. Full drive fails would be his favourite segment. I've got to almost agree with you there, Shauno. And some of those sticky situations are absolutely priceless. Cannot agree more. I laugh every time I see the fails. I mean, tell you what, you guys can fail. There's no doubt about that.
They can fail.
What I've loved about the Beers in the Shed is we've been able to get the audience involved. We've been able to do so many shout-outs. We've been able to show everyone what's happening in the four-wheel drive community, which I think is really cool. We've even used it to raise money, to do a whole stack of things, mate. It's been so many little bits and pieces like that. Obviously, the Respect to Bush campaign, and that's exactly what Nick Stanley, one of his favourite things for this year was cleaning up the place. Great to see you guys making a difference to the world, as well as doing what you do best. Heaps of respect to all of you guys at Full Drive 24/7. That's what it's all about, isn't it, mate?
Mate, I came home the other day and I met a bloke on the plane who came up and said g'day to me. He's in the Navy. He was coming across to Perth to do some work for a week or two. He was saying that when he's been out into some of his bigger trips out into the ocean, the rubbish he's seeing out there it was crippling him. And he was so supportive of the Respect the Bush campaign because, you know, it's a small step, but we're doing the right thing towards making a big difference. And he just wanted to come up and say g'day to me, and he wanted me to pass it on to you too, mate, and just say, look, he's just so stoked with the Clean Up the Bush campaign. He said, good on us.
That's what it's all about, mate. If we can, I'm never going to get tired of promoting Respect the Bush. I mean, if we can change people's attitudes and the way people act when they're out in the Aussie bush.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
People for generations are going to get to experience it, and they're not going to put gates up and lock us out. So
agreed, mate.
It's only a positive thing, mate.
Hey, let's finish up with one that I know is very close to your heart, mate. In fact, I'd like you to read this one out because you were instrumental in this, and it's made a family's life utterly changed. I mean, completely changed, mate. So take it away on this one.
This is absolutely amazing. What we're talking about, what we've achieved as a four-wheel drive community this year. Johnny says he loves everything. The cooking sections are awesome, but the one thing for him was seeing how everybody came together to donate to young Nixon and watching him launch that little remote control car. I mean, far out, guys. This is where we need to say a massive thank you to you for 2020. I mean, you guys came together to help little Nixon. If you remember, he had a very rare form of cancer. He needed to get a lot of money together so that the family could take him over to the US to get the treatment they need. We raised $150,000 because of you guys. You legends did that. Nixon and his family are over in the US right now, getting the treatment that he needs. Our fingers across. Nixon, we're all thinking of you, mate.
He's got this, mate.
He does. He's tough. He's a four-wheel driver, and because of you guys, he's out there getting the treatment that he needs. So, Johnny, I want to give you a prize as well, mate, for that. That brought a tear to my eye, the fact that everyone came together in this four-wheel drive community to donate to Nixon. So, Johnny, you're going to get yourself a $50 gift voucher from Snatch Clothing, mate. Put that under the tree, or better yet, if you haven't got your dad a present for Chrissy, it's only tomorrow. Put it under his tree. Yeah. Christmas shopping is done for you, Johnny.
I think for me, one of the best things ever, you and I had that sort of 6-month period where I couldn't come out of WA. You were sort of holding the fort over there on the East Coast. And that first night where we sort of got together, wasn't any cameras around, and let's just say you and I had a couple of beers together that night. Just was bloody good to be back over, mate. Yeah,
I know.
So look, I reckon 2021, we've got 4Drive 24/7 as a whole has got some huge plans for 2021.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of making up a bit for 2020.
I think so.
I'm just frothing to get started on it.
I'll tell you what, mate, I bet you everyone out there as well has their trip planned for 2021. Yeah. I reckon it's going to be the year of the four-wheel drive. There's no doubt about it. So
I like that.
Hit us up in the comments. Yeah, hit us up in the comments. This is the year of the four-wheel drive. Where are you going for 2021? I want to see it down here. I've said it once before on Beers in the Shed, but whatever you write in the comments of where you're going, you've got to stick to it. That's the rule of YouTube. If you put it in the comments, you've got to live by it. You live and die by the sword, mate. So write down where you're going to go in the comments below.
I'm going to write Moab then. I've got to go.
Imagine that. We've talked about going to the States so much. We were supposed to go this year.
Yep.
Next year, I want to go to New Zealand. I actually want to four-wheel drive all around the world as well, but there's so many cool places in Australia as well.
Let's just write the world down then.
Just all of it. I want to do all of it.
Alrighty, mate. I reckon let's get a move on here and get into one of, I know this is one of your favourite segments, this is one of mine as well. Show us your rig.
Mate, if there was one positive to come out of COVID-19 was the fact that a lot of people spent a lot of time in their sheds, and that therefore a lot of builds took place, mate, and there's been some cracking builds that we've seen this year. I want to get into some of these rigs, and just remember, if you've got a really cool four-wheel drive, you're doing something at home, you might be building it, getting it ready for Christmas, packing it up for a trip, just make it looks really good, get a couple of wicked photos, and make sure you use the hashtag 4WheelDrive247 rigs. That way we can find them. Hopefully you can win a prize. And I've got to say the prize this week, mate, is a set of Terralume X1 rock lights. I've got them as camp lights in my vehicle, but a lot of people, I think there's a bit of a trend at the moment. People are putting them underneath their vehicle as actual rock lights. So when they're night wheeling with their mates, I don't know, they can get discos and stuff going on underneath.
I tell you what, I was going to say, I've got the X8 pack, so the 8 pack installed in the D-Max. I've got 4 in the canopy and 4 underneath the vehicle. And I tell you what, when I put those into party mode, into strobe mode, the campsite is something else, mate. Yep, game on indeed.
I want to do this one. We've chosen this because of Graham. Now, secretly, one of his favourite four-wheel drives in the world is a Lada Niva. Now, this one here, I haven't seen many, but it's one of the best I've seen. I've got to say, this is Valentine's Lada Niva. It's based in Germany, but he's taken it right across Europe. And it's a little weapon. He's got the factory, I hope that's factory, the poo colour brown with rooftop tent. He's got jerry cans, tyres, it looks like a bit of lift in there. Mate, it's just all happening. He's got some spotties on the front. It's just set up for doing what Lada Nivas do best, mate. And I don't know what that is, but he's doing it. Having a ripper of a time. It's a cool little car. It is a cool little car.
Speaking of cool, mate, check out this next one.
Oh, mate, Tom's PD42 GQ. It's like Darryl, but just way better.
Similar to Darryl.
You know the thing is, Tom is only 17. It's his first four-wheel drive, and I mean, I remember back to my first four-wheel drive. It couldn't even hold a candle up to something like this, mate. So Tom, you should be very, very proud. But keep in mind, it had no roadworthy, no rego when he first got it. He had to do a lot of work to get it up to scratch to get this thing on the road, mate. And it looks like he's done a sensational job, mate. At only 17 years of age to get it ready. He's got the trays, all the mods, mate. He's fully rebuilt that tray.
I'm just having a close look at it. Looks. I was going to say it looks. I'm having a close look here. It looks very straight for a GQ. That's as
very straight. He has not taken it to the Wattigans yet or Coffs Harbour.
Not yet.
No. That'll be on the plans, no doubt. He's also resprayed the chassis. He's put a 4-inch lift and 33s in it, mate. He's redone the brakes. He's done a bunch of other accessories, as you can see. He's got stacks more planned, but let's face it, who doesn't, Tom? They all come with time, mate. That is a cracking first four-wheel drive. How about this one, mate? Tristan's FJ40. Now, this is a 1973 short wheelbase, obviously soft top FJ40. He's got the straight 6 petrol motor in it, mate. 42-inch tyres and a 4-inch lift.
That'd be like me wearing high heels, mate. Not something you want to see every day, but definitely possible.
But you can't look away at the same time.
No, that thing's a weapon. If you look closely in one of the photos too, you can see his little mate, his dog sitting in the front there, must love it. Tristan bought this mint-looking 40 series about 10 years ago, and he's been tinkering away on it in the shed ever since, repairing and respraying the bodywork, adding the 4-inch lift with extended shackles and shocks, upgrading the carby and fitting 42-inch tyres. The rear diff has been reinforced and the vehicle features a rear LSD and relocated battery. While Tristan is currently working on a roll cage and front bar for the rig, he's also considering whether to go all out with the build. On the cards is a possible coil conversion, front locker and wheelbase extension.
No, that is such a cool little rig. Imagine trying to take that on the beach. That would be an absolute hoot. Now, mate, this is a cool truck and I love what he's done here. Sam, he's got a chopped 105. Now, he actually bought a Cummins 6BT because he was going to put it in his GU, but he ended up writing that GU off. So he had this engine. He thought, what am I going to do with this engine? He came to his senses, mate, bought a Toyota 105 series, chopped it in half, and he would have gotten rid of that 1HZ or even that FZ petrol motor, got rid of that, and look what's going inside it, mate. An absolute weapon.
Sam chose the 105 for his 5.9 litre Cummins 6BT because he wanted a solid axle vehicle with the comfort of a wagon. After purchasing the vehicle stock, Sam and his mates soon had the new engine custom mounted and paired with a 5-speed heavy-duty auto. Sam then got on the tools and installed 3.5 diff gears, custom made a 3.5-inch exhaust and added a turbo, 4-inch coils, 13.5-inch remote res shocks, 35s, custom intercooler piping, 4-inch snorkel, airbox and gauges. He's really gone to town. Sam recently decided to go for the chop to make the 105 more functional and easier to go out bush with his dogs. He's chopped down a patrol tray to suit. Next up, Sam plans on a canopy and rock sliders for the big rig. Mate, have a look at this one right here. When I first saw this, when I first saw the photo of it, I legit thought that was a Tonka toy.
That is one of my favourite model Hiluxes of all time, mate. I know Jocko would be frothing about this one, mate. Get this for a resto, though. This is a proper nut and bolt job.
Crazy.
I know how much work it takes to get a vehicle from a chassis up to what you see now. And this is still a work in progress, mind you. But he's basically taken an old rust bucket that was sitting in the back paddock to what you see right now. It's got a supercharged V6 in it, and it's probably one of the neater builds I've ever seen for a four-wheel drive.
Without a shadow of a doubt, mate. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to get this bloke in my shed, get him to open up the bonnet on Shorty and show him what an engine bay really should look like, mate, because as far as I'm concerned, that's not an engine bay. That's ridiculous.
Exactly right. I've always got the old saying, mate, if your engine bay's got enough grease in it that you can, if you need to repack a CV out in the middle of the scrub, you can just run your hands through the engine bay and you're good to go. Pack some bearings.
That's bush proofing as far as I'm concerned. Yep.
No, I wish mine looked like that. Holy heck, mate.
After sitting around in the paddock for a number of years, this amazing restoration got started almost 4 years ago after Drew's partner floated the idea of a trip around Australia. Drew knew this was the rig he wanted to take, and he brought the truck back to their small home shed and got to work. The cab has been completely stripped, sandblasted and the rust repaired, before going back on the chassis and fitted with custom sheet metal floors. Since then, the build has migrated to a bigger shed, and an intercooled and supercharged V6 has been fitted, along with a bit of fruit to bring up the power. Drew's fabricated a tray, sliders, winch bar and a 150-litre fuel tank, and has plans for a canopy in the works. The twin-locked vehicle sits on 12-inch shocks in the front, with a high-steer kit, braced and gusseted front diff, chromoly axles and CVs, plus 10-inch shocks in the rear, with IFS rear springs and hydro bump stops all round. Thankfully, Drew's partner's patience doesn't need to last too much longer, as the pair have plans to hit Cape York next year.
Mate, I can't wait to see some pics going through Nolan's. Whatever you do, mate, Drew, send us some photos in when you got this thing on the track, so I can't wait to see it, mate. And you are the prize winner as well. So we're going to send out some X1 rock lights from Terraloo Ministries, mate. They will set this build off just like that.
I reckon chuck those under those wheel arches there, and that'll look pretty rock and roll. Rightio, Shauno, it is that time of week, mate. You and I have both joined this club multiple times over. Both the full Send It club, we've both been there. But I think more times than most, we've been in the other club, mate, the other end of the club. The one we don't talk about too much, Four Drive Fails.
How good are they,
Cracker. Yeah, everyone loves this segment. I'm not even going to muck around. We're going straight into it, mate. User drive on left, watching Four Drive 24/7, when bogged, waiting for a mate.
It's nothing I'd rather be watching than Four Drive 24/7 when you're out in the middle of nowhere waiting for your mate to drive 2 hours because you put some new tyres on and thought you could go through some deep ruts.
Now, I'm not too sure what's going on here, but Drew's son, when I first had a look at this, I'm going to be honest, I thought Drew's son was actually taking a pee on his car. He's not. Yeah. He's helping to hose it off. And in doing so, he's blowing all the paintwork off.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's the sort of paint job I'd expect you to do, mate. It's all just peeling off and, look, it's not working out real well. I suggest, Drew, get yourself some Raptor, mate, and give that a proper coating, because your paint shouldn't be able to do that, just fall off with a hose. It's,
as a rule, it should stick better than that. Yep. Mate, you and I have been up the glass house maybe one or two times in our illustrious careers, and I can really sympathise with old Timbo here. Tim's gone in slow and come out a heck of a lot slower.
The old full fail. Yeah. It's a shame.
It's a horrible feeling.
And especially when your mates are watching. I mean, I was going to say,
and have a close look at his mates. Every single one of them has got a phone out.
Yeah, just filming him. Like, not running to get recovery gear and take this moment very, seriously. There's probably mud coming in on the carpets inside. We'll just post it and send it in to Full Drive 24/7 #fails.
Boys.
And,
exactly.
But look. On the positive side, we get to share Tim's fail with the rest of the world, so there is an upside there.
Here's a disgusting fail, mate. This one actually a bit hard to stomach. Russell couldn't work out why his Subaru air conditioning wasn't working, and he finally decided, well, hey, may as well check the filter. Have a look at that, Russell. Mate, give yourself a stiff uppercut.
Mate, for a second, I thought that was the camera car's air filter. I've seen it look like that a few times. Mate, this next one. What about Kevin in Utah, mate?
The day he went truly off-road.
He went off the road, there's no doubt about that. He left the road and ended up in what looks like a lake. I don't even know what sort of vehicle it is, but it looks like it's pretty severely flooded.
Well, it's not amphibious, mate, I'll give you that.
No, exactly right, mate, and I think it'll never be the same again, Kev. But
Nah. Let us know, Kev, in the comments below, what the heck happened the day you went truly off-road, mate? Have a look at this one here. Jake, he's obviously decided to, I don't know why he's done this. He's headed out onto a mud flat. I mean, that could be a dam. We can't see it in that photo, but whatever he's done there, that looks horrific. I've been stuck on a mud flat before, and you've got nowhere to winch. It's just,
absolutely horrible. I've got a little bit of a rule. Anytime there's a dam, maybe stay about, 38 kilometres away from that dam. Anytime you go forward driving, roughly about that. Because when you go down in that sort of soil, that's a big recovery.
Mate, have a look at Werner.
Oh, Werner from South Africa, far out, hey? Look, he admits though, he's made a bit of a novice mistake. He's He's jumped in. I can't see a snorkel on that Ranger. He's jumped straight into a bit of water. And what happens when you don't have a snorkel and you get drowned in a bit of water? Well,
bad.
A little bit of hydro locking goes on. That's a very expensive mistake. I just hope Werner took the injectors out and tried to squirt that water out, because it doesn't.
It looks like that's what he's doing.
Water.
It looks like that's what he's doing. But he's decided that the word wild track's written on the side of the vehicle. He'll take it the wild track, and it didn't work out so well for him, Werner.
And now he's shopping for a Toyota, probably.
Or an Nissan. Yep. Anyway, have a look at this one, mate. Shauno, maybe you take some interesting lines, so maybe you can describe what the heck has happened here.
Look, I can sort of relate, because James has got a brand new build, so he's spent a fair bit of time, and it looks like a fair bit of coin too, making that GQ absolutely mint. Yeah, it actually reminds me of the first time I took Sooty off-road. Do you remember that in the Barrington Tops, mate? I spent, ages getting that vehicle together. The very first track, I got it bogged in a mud puddle. Now, admittedly, it wasn't as bad as that. This guy's actually rolled it in a mud puddle. So that's actually my biggest nightmare off-road. I reckon rolling it in a mud puddle would have to be one of the scariest things you could do, mate. And look, so he's gone straight from the workshop, straight to the tracks, rolled it on its side in a mud puddle, and then straight back to the workshop. So, James, look, it's been a huge fail, mate. But for your failing, we're going to give you a prize. You're going to win yourself a Full Send t-shirt. You deserve to be in the Full Send Club, mate. You're going to join Graham, myself, Jesse. Actually, there's a lot of people in the Full Send Club now. There's probably a few hundred. So, mate, you're in an exclusive club. You're not alone. Welcome to the Full Send 4x4 Club.
He's thinking, yeah, thanks, guys. T-shirt, and I've totaled me truck. But I mean it sincerely when I say you've done a very good job at it, mate. You've failed exceptionally well. Now, folks, don't forget to keep sending us in your photos and your videos. We search for these all the time, but you've got to put the hashtag 4WD247fails, because that's what we use to search. And when we see something like what James has done, it comes straight to the fail pool room. Now, Shauno, speaking of fails, mate, we put a post up on social media recently asking about times that you folks out there have nearly put your pride and joy on its side. Both you and I have done it, mate. Because
a few times this year.
We've done it, certainly gone very close, and had it actually happened in the past. And we got an influx of people who have decided that they were going to try and do skids on their lids or their side a lot of times. It's obviously a theme out there. It's very common with our readers. I'm going to get straight into it. Hayden ran out of talent in his LN106. Jock right now is probably just, he's got an itch. He can't quite sit still.
Several times.
Yeah, he's done it. Got away with a cracked flare, dented front quarter, and a scuffed up slider. That's what they're there for. Don't worry about that. Yep. Winched it back on all fours, and they kept wheeling, mate.
How good is a dirty old diesel, mate? You can get away with stuff like that.
This one here looks a bit more gnarly. Jeremy, Moab. Moab. He's got a big ego, apparently, but not anymore. It got a lot smaller real fast.
Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? And like, it's a nice angle from that vehicle.
Look at the underbody protection, obviously.
I know, he's really gone to town on that underbody protection. Yeah. So it's good to get
not using it right now.
That sort of perspective. I know, it's not really coming in handy right now because it's on his side.
Now, you know this, you probably even remember this little incline here, mate. Coldstream track in Tassie.
Yeah, exactly right. We've come up it a few times. It's never super steep and off cambered. Yeah, we've gone down it as well. It's gnarly. Look at that. That is moments away from probably ending on its side, and you do not want to go in that water. It's super cold and full of trout. You don't want any of those things around your vehicle. I mean,
you get a brown trout in the car after that. I tell you what, you don't want that. Justin Spears. A lot of people in losing talent is what they're saying. Lost all my talent this day. All of it. All the talent went. It was a great opportunity to check his rear main.
Look
you
at him.
Do it on a hoist. A lot easier.
You could just see him looking down at the rear main, just going, "What have I done?" Because I think that was quite a beautiful little. Looks like a 79, like the older 79 six-banger.
Yeah. And it's got a nice little canopy, or it did have a nice canopy on the back.
Was a very nice little thing. Yeah, it's a bit dented, mate. Look, suggestion as well, Justin. Look, if you're looking for canopy inspiration, mate, Jock and I built one this year. Shop Customs came to the shed here, and we just put a canopy up, really strong, leaks stacks of water, and it also doesn't quite fit the vehicle. It's not square. So if you need any inspiration to build yourself a new one, mate, I suggest you go back through some of our old content and find where we made the Pony Lux a little canopy.
Justin, don't do that. There's another Justin here. There's another Justin. Now, here's the thing, and you'll agree with this, Shauno, when it comes to making sort of full drive content, whatever it is, photos never do anything justice. Because to me, that almost looks like he could drive out of that. But he's saying he was literally resting on his flare and so close to going over.
I bet he was, mate. When you got two wheels in the air, there's not much holding. There's not enough rubber on the ground to be holding your four-wheel drive up. So, yeah, I reckon that's a lot scarier than it looks.
Oh, I'm going to go the other way, mate. I reckon he's making excuses. Bit of left-hand down, he could have driven out of that.
Right hand down and send it. What would Daryl do? You got to ask yourself the question.
What would Daryl do? What would Daryl do? Zach Brooks looks like he's done a fair bit of hard wheeling this time. Two things I want to bring up on this photo we've got here. One is it's a cracking photo. The first is all 4 wheels are off the ground here and he's in the air. If you look closely, he's actually in the air. But the other thing I want to point out, have a look at his navvy.
Running for his life. And the guy in the orange shirt in the background's got his hands over his mouth. I'm a big fan of blocking my ears when something goes down off-road.
You do.
I block my ears and close my eyes. Usually have a UHF, I just hold it open, don't say anything. Maybe make a little squeak noise or something.
That's so very
Far
true.
out, mate.
Yeah.
That's loose.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
That is loose. That's Zach, you might be bloody another honorary member of the Full Send 4x4 Club, I think.
Now, Daniel Foster, just make it a full flip. Again, that's another one of those curious lines where you sort of need to know more.
Yeah. Daniel, get in touch, mate, in the comments. Please let us know what happened there. That's did he try and straddle the rut and he slipped in, or?
No, but the rut doesn't look big enough to tip over to me. But then again, it's that photo side.
Mate, I've seen you roll it on some pretty.
Settle down now. We're not getting
some
personal.
tracks
right?
I really needed a question. I needed a question a lot that day.
I should be quiet because you're dead right. You're dead right. That whole talent thing, mate. Fails. Our audience know how to do them better than most.
Exactly right. So remember to keep tagging us in your fails. Chances are a lot of you guys are going away forward driving for Christmas, and a good percentage will be failing. Heck, I might be failing as well over Christmas. Who knows? But if you do fail, make sure you hashtag us with Forward Drive 24/7 fails. We can't wait to see. We're going to kick off Beers in the Shed for 2021 with a lot of fails, I reckon, mate.
I think this pretty much brings us to the end of another episode. But before we go, I think we should just wrap up. 2020, what a year. It's a year nobody will forget. It's been huge.
Absolutely.
We've got so much planned for next year. I mean, you're building up one epic vehicle at the moment.
I know, it's pretty wild, mate. It doesn't even feel real. A Chop 200 series, it's the sort of vehicle that dreams are made of. I mean, I've got a few of those vehicles around here. It's very different to anything I've ever owned or ever driven before. So my plan for that one, I can't wait to get that dirty and show you how that thing goes off-road, because at the moment, I don't even know myself, mate. We're still in the build where we're getting very close to it being done.
Have you?
Mate, I just got it the other day, and I'm too scared to drive it, so 30's been, it's been getting the groceries and stuff like that. The big 200, mate, we'll see what happens with that next year, but I can't wait to hook the boat up, take it to some really epic places and show you what that thing can do, because I've actually got a full-size canopy for it, as you probably remember from the Build series. I plan to make that a real tourer, and I've never really done that before. I've always sort of compromised between a vehicle that can drive hard tracks and something that's cool at touring, but this one's full tourer, baby.
She's going to be one heck of a vehicle, mate. Look, I think that's pretty much us, mate. It's the night before Christmas, or the Arvo before Christmas over here in WA with the time difference. Mate, I'm getting pretty low on beers, and it's one of those days of the year where I don't think anyone can blame me for going cracking 2 at once. I'm just going to go.
I think it's on the cards, mate. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab myself another Iron Jack and then practice a little bit more on the darts, because my brother's coming around real soon. And I just want to, it's my shed. I should be able to play darts in my own shed pretty well. And I've got a bit of practice to make up on, mate. So look, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who supported us through 2020. It's been a heck of a year, mate, and the support and love has been nothing short of amazing. So, mate, I'm going to raise my beer to all you guys out there. And Graham, big cheers, mate. It's been a cracker of a year. Can't wait to 2021.
Cheers to you, mate. Here's to 2021. Some big plans in the pipeline. And, mate, I hope you have a fantastic Chrissy. Say good day to everyone over there for us. And I'll catch you before the new year on the phone, mate. But till then, enjoy, bud.
See you guys.